ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य आणीस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मावतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ Om. May my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both, speech and mind, be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om. Peace, peace, peace be unto you all. Good morning. This morning, I am going to speak on a very interesting subject and equally important from the point of view of philosophy and spiritual life. It is absolute is unknown and known. A kind of weird title. It is known and unknown. How can something be known and again unknown? Let us see. For creation, anything, few things are required. The scholars, they find that few things are required to create any kind of thing. Those things are the ingredients, material, so they call it material cause, and the efficient cause. And there are some instrumental cause. So instrument is required, material is required, and efficient cause, they cause the potter. The great example they give, the potter. Aristotle gave the example of carpenter. So the carpenter, those are efficient cause. So, in spiritual point of view, the creation, they divided it into two broad categories. They call it the material, the matter, and the spirit. There is some spirit. So, everything, creation, is the combination of matter and spirit. The spirit is the source of our life. It is the source of our living, energy, our movement, everything. But there is a difference between the spirit in normal sense, and the spirit I am actually referring here. Take the example of a huge crane. A huge crane can lift, say, 1,000, 2,000 tons of weight. So a crane can lift 2,000 tons of weight on the roof of a skyscraper. So that is its strength, power, horsepower, and everything. But behind that, there is a spirit. The fuel is there, or the electricity is there. So electricity and fuel is actually activating its own horsepower. So there is a spirit behind the power. I am referring actually the electricity and fuel part, that is spirit. An individual has strength, power, energy, but behind that there is a source, there is a spirit. Unless there is electricity or fuel, a huge crane with its all horsepower cannot work. Exactly in the same way, an individual may have huge power and energy, but unless there is a spirit behind it, it cannot work. So I am referring actually this kind of spirit. Beside that spirit, all other things are matter. So our body, mind, intellect, senses, and obviously iron, wood, cement, everything is matter. So in broad head, we can divide two categories. One is spirit and other is the matter. The creation is the combination of the spirit and matter. What we call matter, you can examine or you can know the nature of that matter, what it is, how it is, and everything about it. You can experiment it in the laboratory and you can understand its function. Similarly, in an individual, the mind is matter, although you cannot experiment it in the laboratory, but you can understand the function of it. It is very volatile. It fluctuates according to its moods. Then again, intellect, you cannot see it, but you can feel, you can understand its function, because the deciding factor, it is the main thing which can decide things. So the discriminative function generally intellect does. But what is the proof of the spirit? Obviously, we cannot see it, just like mind and intellect. We cannot experiment the nature of spirit in the laboratory. But what is the nature of spirit? What is the proof, the existence of spirit? It is very funny and very interesting. The Sanskrit name of the spirit is Atman. And surely we cannot see it in ordinary eyes. The function of spirit is very funny, interesting, and weird. We become aware of ourselves, and that is the proof of existence of spirit. How we can be aware of ourselves? I am delivering a lecture. At the same time, I am aware that I am delivering a lecture. If someone is cooking, at the same time he or she can aware of that he or she is cooking. Similarly, if somebody is sleeping, then somebody can be aware of that sleeping. Even dreaming, somebody is aware of dreaming. Because after dreaming, we can say, I had a dream. So this is very funny. We are aware of ourselves. A chair, a table is not aware of themselves that they are sitting on the floor. Even a child is not aware that he or she is crying. A dog is not aware of its jumping. But a human being, a matured human being, is aware what he or she is doing. So it depends upon the development of ego. The more ego is developed, the more aware we will become. And there will be super ego also. If it will become super ego, means extremely egoistic people, they are very sensitive. Their awareness is super. So, the self-awareness activates, or spirit, because of spirit, the self-awareness is activated. We can understand by seeing or by experimenting in the laboratory the nature of matter. What is the nature? How can we experiment, or how can we know the nature of spirit? And Indian philosophy says, if you can understand, if you can know the nature of spirit, you are done. You will become immortal. You will become eternally happy. You will become eternally, totally unattached, and you can enjoy your life and living more if you can understand the spirit. So how can we understand the spirit? Vedanta points out the method of knowledge by special path developed by the ancient rishis or seers. The special path which leads to the supreme knowledge, that makes us immortal. So if we can understand, if we can realize the nature of the spirit, that is the goal of Indian spirituality. If we can understand the spirit, the nature of spirit, the function of spirit, then we will be eternally happy we will become immortal. But how can we get it, or how can we understand it? Where can we get it? It is also interesting. The spirit is the highest because it gives us immortality. So that is why the spirit is also called the absolute truth. The highest. Highest means the truth. It is the highest thing. So that is the greatest. That knowledge is the greatest and absolute. So sometimes the spirit is called absolute. The absolute truth or the spirit is not very far from us. It is very interesting. Where and how can we search the spirit? Because we have to understand the nature of spirit, and that is all. Everything is to understand the nature of spirit, the function of spirit, and all about spirit. Or Atman, whatever you like to say it, call it. So, where to get it and how to get it? The ancient seers and the scripture says that it is not very far from us. Where it is? And it is not absolute being separated from us, but it is very closely related with us. And where it is, how it functions, they say the absolute has hands, has feet, has eyes everywhere. It has mouth, the ears everywhere. He exists pervading all. How funny. It sounds very weird. The absolute is everywhere. It is very close to us. And it has hands, face, mouth. Not one. It has faces. It has eyes. It has ears. Many. In Bhagavad Gita, it has been mentioned. It is said, Sarvatah panipadang tat sarvatokshi shiro mukham sarvatah srutimal loke sarvam abritya tishtati. Sarvatah, everywhere. Pani, pada. Pani means hand. Pada means legs. Everywhere is its hands. Everywhere is its legs. Tata sarvotokshi. Everywhere. His eyes, shiro, his heads, and mukham, mouth. Everywhere his heads, everywhere his eyes, everywhere his hands, everywhere his legs. Everywhere. He is listening. And he pervades everywhere. How it can be possible that he pervades everywhere and so many heads, so many mouths? He is a giant? Some kind of story in mythology? What kind of thing it is? How strange is that? Absolute has his hands, ears, feet, and yet he pervades all. We as an individual have our hands, heads, ears, eyes. But how can the absolute, the Atman, has its hands everywhere, face everywhere? Let us understand this. Because to understand the function, to understand the nature of spirit, we have to understand its function. Because from the function, we can understand mind. From the function, we can understand intellect. So let us see what is the function of that absolute. Because we have already understood that the absolute has many heads, many faces, many eyes, etc., and it pervades everywhere. How it can be? And Bhagavad Gita is referring that. Let us consider some robots. They are here. They are moving in front of me, and they are doing some work. Say, what I am ordering, directing, they are doing those kinds of work. As robots, they are functioning by some energy. Say, they are controlled remotely by electricity or by battery or something else. Some energy, some spirit is working behind them, and by that energy, by that spirit, they are doing everything. They are watching, they are looking, they are doing things, they are with their hands, they are walking, they are talking. So they are robots, So they are doing everything. And they can be controlled remotely by some energy or by spirit. It means robots are active and doing everything as long as the electricity is remotely connected with them. They are watching, they are working, they are talking. But what does it mean? It means nothing belongs to them. They are walking, they are talking, they are doing everything, but nothing belongs to them. They cannot control themselves. As long as the remote electrical connection is there, so long they can work, they can do. So they don't have freedom, and all these hands and eyes, it is not theirs. It is the controllers, the owners. Although the people, the gardener, he can maintain the garden, but the garden is owned by the owner. So according to the wish or according to the direction of the owner, the gardener does everything. So here also, the electricity is the controller, and according to the electricity, these robots are working. Definitely behind that electricity, some person is there. He is the controller, he is the main controller. But let us take this segment from electricity to robot. So everything is electricity. Take another example. Say in Vedanta Society, we have 6 computers. But there is only one router. And from one router, the internet is functioning. And through 6 computers, 6 persons can work and they can watch in the computer. So somebody is watching pictures, somebody is watching YouTube, somebody is watching Facebook, somebody is watching Instagram, whatever the work they are doing. But there is only one source, and the internet, and remotely, Wi-Fi. So through Wi-Fi, they are activating. So we can say the computer is the outlet, but internet, everything is internet. Internet is controlling them. So the picture is reflecting, or picture is coming in the computer screen, that is not computer's property, or that is not computers, that is internet's, because of internet's. Internet is the cause. So because of that it is doing. So everything is internet's. Now, if the same fact we can express in other ways. In the case of robot, electricity is working through different hands, different legs, different eyes. And in the case of computer, internet is working through different computer screen, and internet is watching different pictures, different things. Thus, electricity or internet is working through different eyes to the robot. Electricity is working through different hands. Electricity is working through different legs of the robot. Similarly, the Wi-Fi is working through different computers, in the desktop, in the laptop, what makes that may be. So, internet is working through all these things. So, internet or electricity doesn't have hand, but electricity can work through many hands of the robots. Electricity doesn't have eyes, but electricity can work through many eyes of the robot. So electricity doesn't have heads, but electricity can work through many heads. Now, if we proceed one step further and say, although electricity does not have hands, still it is working through different hands. Although electricity does not have legs, yet it is walking through legs. Electricity does not have eyes, yet it is walking through eyes. Exactly, what does it mean? Now, instead of robot, please try to think the whole humanity. The whole humanity, thousands of heads, thousands of eyes, thousands of mouths, thousands of faces, thousands of hands, thousands of legs, and everything as it were is remotely connected with the spirit, and it is working. So what is said in Bhagavad Gita? In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Sarvata Panipadam Tat. Everywhere is his feet. Everywhere is his eyes. Everywhere is his heads. So just imagine. And this spirit is functioning through the humanity, through them. Just consider this. Exactly the same thing said in the Upanishad and in the Bhagavad Gita. Just consider the total humanity. The Upanishad says the Absolute has no feet, no hands, no limbs, no eyes, no ears, yet it sees through all eyes, hears through all ears, walks through all feet, and works through all hands. Prashna Upanishad says, though in truth the Atman is not seer, hearer, smeller, enjoyer, thinker, and doer of any work, yet he sees, hears, smells, enjoys, thinks, and does everything. In Sanskrit it is said, Sahi droshta. Droshta means seer. Sroshta, creators. Srota, listeners. Rasoita, taster. Manta, bodha. Karta, Vijnanatma, Purushaha. So he is doing everything, but he doesn't have anything. Just imagine that. By the remote, the robot is working everything. So everything belongs to that electricity, but electricity doesn't have anything. This is a kind of riddle. The absolute is beyond comprehension and beyond mind and relativity, yet it is not far from us. It dwells in us and works through us. In this sense, he is known and again unknown. In Isha Upanishad, the fourth verse of the Isha Upanishad, has dealt with this problem of riddle and has opened the door of hidden treasure. In the fourth verse of Isha Upanishad, it says, Tade jyoti tanne jyoti tad dure tadantike tadanyarasya tadu sravasyasya bahyataha. It moves. Tad ajyoti. Ajyoti means moving. It moves. Tanne jyoti. Ta na ajyoti. So it is motionless. It moves. Again, it is motionless. It is distant. Tad dure. It is in distant. But again, tadantike. It is very closer. It is far away, but it is very closer. It is within all. It is without all. See, it is known and unknown. Everywhere we can see it. Everywhere we can feel it. Because it is working through thousands of eyes, everybody's eyes. It is looking, it is listening through everybody's ears. It is working through everybody's hand. So it is everywhere. At the same time, it is far away because we cannot touch it, we cannot see like other things. We cannot touch like other things. So here is the difference between spirit and matter. When we can have the conviction that these bodies are nothing but the instrument through which the absolute being or spirit is playing the sportive play. Just imagine that this body is just like a robot or computer, and something is remotely working through this body. We are not seeing. The seeing is His. We are not working. These hands is not ours, because the controller of hand is He. Because as long as He is giving us the spirit, we are moving. As long as we are connected with that source, we are doing everything. Just imagine a robot, a computer. As long as a computer is connected with the Wi-Fi, we can see the world, see the universe. The computer, the Wi-Fi is not moving. But we can move along the universe. So we can see everything. So through this, just imagine if we can develop this conviction that everything we are doing, but the source is His. We are doing through our hands, but this hand is not ours. This is His, because He is the controller. He is doing everything. If we can develop this conviction that we are the spirit and not the body, it is not ours. Thoughts are not ours. Mind is not ours. Because as long as it is connected, we are touch base with that spirit, we are working. It is His. How pleasant, how peaceful and restful we will be if we can hold that we are the spirit all the time. Or capital G, if God is controlling everything, we are nothing. That spirit is the God. And we are touch base with that. As long as He is working through us, we are working. It is not ours. What we are doing, He is controlling. If we can develop this conviction, all selfishness, all vanity, all our problems will vanish when we can come to know that these bodies are the instruments through which the eternal being is playing in the material world. We will enjoy our existence because we are separate from these material conditions. Even when we enjoy, I see this and I am very happy. I am having something, some material things, and I am very happy. So just imagine, this material matter is matter. It is not giving us any kind of changes. It may be the cause to connect, but actually we are connected with the spirit, and through that spirit the happiness, the pleasure is coming within. So this happiness and pleasure is the function of this machine, the function of the brain. But as long as it is connected with that, the main spirit is coming. The crane, the huge crane, it can function different ways, different things. But as long as it is connected with the electricity or fuel, it can do the magnificent thing. So everything belongs to the electricity, the fuel, the source, the spirit. If we can understand this, then we can get rid of all our problems. We can enjoy life. If we are one with material condition instead, what will happen? We would just like a dead matter, that is, like a chair or like a table. A chair does not enjoy its existence, but we do. Therefore, there is some difference, and that difference lies in the spirit, the absolute. Why this absolute is known and unknown? Why we cannot understand it like a matter? It is because the absolute or spirit is beyond relative existence. What is relative existence? The relative existence is that which depends upon other existence or exists in relation to other existence. My existence, the existence of this body, depends upon other existence. Let me consider this example. I live as a human being. I am standing here, but my existence as a human being in this room depends upon the existence of the earth. If this earth is not there, I could not stand. Therefore, our existence as a human being is dependent upon the existence of earth and the present condition of the earth. If it is very cold, we cannot live. If it is very hot, we cannot live. Very warm, we cannot live. So, it depends upon many factors. So, our existence is the relative existence. Our existence depends upon the existence of something, is related with something. Similarly, the earth, sun, the human body, everything is relative. If this whole space is filled with a solid human being, a solid, huge, gigantic human being, there will be no space and nobody will be here. So, there will be only one thing. If there are another huge, gigantic sun, what will happen? This sun will not be there. So everything, all existence is the relative existence. But spirit, what is that existence which is not relative? It is said, as the absolute, the spirit is not relative existence, so we cannot know it as we know the relative existence. So what is the nature which is not relative existence? What is that which is not in relative existence? What is that thing? If we can understand that, then we can understand the nature of the spirit. What is self-existence? Does not depend on any other existence. What is that and how is that? If there be no creation, even the God, personal God, is also a relative existence. We call it God is creator. If there is no creation, how God will come? As long as creation is there, God is there. We exist because we are creating something. As long as we can create, so long we will exist. Swamiji once said that as long as you can give something, you will exist. The moment your contribution is over, you will be no more. So, in this sense, personal God is also relative. In Christianity, Father is in the heaven and God is the creator. Christianity does not say anything about the absolute truth. But some philosophers and mystics, they tried to explore the absolute truth or spirit, like Kant. He said, absolute is unknown and unknowable. But Vedanta says, it is unknown, but it is not unknowable. It can be known. It is unknowable, it is unknown to the ignorant person. But for the wise, it is known. And it is knowable. Having the awareness that our body is a matter, but spirit is the main reality, is the beginning of the higher journey of our spiritual life. In Gita, the body is called field, because what we do in the field, we sow something and we reap. So body is just like that. So that is why in Bhagavad Gita, body is called kshetra. Kshetra means field. And the controller of the body is called kshetragya. He is the controller. The spirit is the controller. And our body is just like that. What we sow in this life, that we'll reap in our next life. So it is just like a field. If we do go to good work, we can enjoy. If we do bad work, we do not enjoy. So this is called the field in Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit. And accordingly, so to know the nature of the spirit is the main goal of our life. How can we make the unknown known? The process of knowing spirit is called spirituality. It is intuitive, direct experience. Spirit is pervaded everywhere, just like the Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi is pervaded everywhere. So as the spirit is pervaded everywhere. So when something is pervaded everywhere, we can say that thing is not relative existence. If a thing is a particular limited place, that has the relative existence. But which is pervaded everywhere, that is self-existent. So that doesn't have anything, any help to be existed. So this spirit is pervaded everywhere, just like the Wi-Fi, Everywhere it is pervaded. From anywhere you can just connect it with the Bluetooth. So that point of Bluetooth in the computer, that point is the main source of spiritual spark within. Everywhere pervaded this spirit. Just we have the spark in our within. So from the computer, we have to connect the Wi-Fi. That spot, we have to activate some spot in the computer and we would connect it to the Wi-Fi. Exactly in the same way, we have to activate within. That is the spot, that is the spiritual spark in our within. And how can we do that? Shankaracharya, while made his commentary on the fourth verse of the Ishopanishad, I have already mentioned this particular verse, Tade Jyoti Tanne Jyoti Taddure Tadantike. That is a famous verse. Commented on this verse, he said that a flock of sheep, a flock of sheep, if one is missing, how can we find that? We try to follow the mark of his steps. So, the route through which the sheep was missing, so we follow the mark of its hoof, and we follow it, and we go and we get it. Exactly in the same way, follow the mark of the footstep. So we know that we have a spark within, and just follow, and we can reach to the source. Because we know from the electrical source the robot are working. We know the Wi-Fi is pervaded everywhere. But we have to follow the source backwardly. Just we follow the footstep of somebody, some missing person, and we get it. So exactly in the same way, we can get it. So that is the way to know the unknown. But obviously, it is not so easy, definitely. But if we start our journey, then we can get the fruit in every step. Even if we can just feel, we can develop this conviction that we are not the body, and what we are doing is his work, his prompt, his order, his wish. Then we will be in a better human being. Then slowly we can progress, and we can follow the footstep, and we can know the unknown. But for the right now, it is known. We know it because it is here, very close to us. But at the same time, it is unknown. We do not know it how we know this table, how we know this chair. In that way, we do not know that. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkham Apnuat, Sarvastarotu Durgani, Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu, Sarva Sadbuddhim Apnotu, Sarva Sarvatranandatu. Durjana sajjano bhuyat, sajjana shantimapnuat, shantamuchyetya bandhebhyo, muktaschanyan vimochayet. May all be happy. May all enjoy good health. May all see happy events. May all be freed from miseries. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto you all. Next Sunday, we do not have any service, any lecture at 11 o'clock because we have the spiritual retreat, Thanksgiving spiritual retreat on Thursday, 26th November from 11 to 1 p.m., from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that is on the Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga as preached by Lord Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Today is the last date for the registration. Those who have not yet registered and want to register, so I request them, please register by today. Thank you. Please take care and to stay safe. Namaste.